Hi guys, welcome back. Today we'll be taking a look at Nvidia and AMD. Before we begin, remember take a second to give the video a like and subscribe to stay updated with the market. Do note that do not provide any power sell calls, but focus on potential traps set up by market makers. Without further ado, let's take a look at Nvidia. So you can see that Nvidia actually has some good supports coming in at around just above this $200 psychological support. However, we did break down. So there is not a good sign. Even if we do break back up, I'm afraid this previous support will likely turn into resistance, and then we would likely to fall back down even greater. As of now, let's take a look at what exactly are the potential supports on the weekly charts. So you can see on the Fibonacci levels, retracement levels, you can see 61.8% to 114.50 managed to hold for quite a long period of time, somewhere about 3 to 4 months. However, we did break down after this 61.8% did not hold. In fact, if you look closely, this 78.6% held for a while. But thereafter, we did have a breakdown and continue to fall further. So if you look now, actually, there is a 50% Fibonacci support coming up, which is at 173.74. So at around perhaps 168 to 172, there may be some potential stop hunting just below this $170 psychological support levels, and it may be acting as a potential support for Nvidia. However, if you use the wave pattern, you can see that this is a potential first wave down. However, if you look at there's a bigger wave pattern that we are looking, which is something like this. So let's take a look at the wave patterns. So this is the first wave down. So a high of 346 all the way to this particular low of around, this low was 207. So a high of 346. So the second wave that we are looking at is likely to be heading towards this 152, 153 levels. And we're likely to be heading this 170 first. And if we were to test and break down, then we're likely to be seeing these 150 levels. As of now, this 170 may just act as a potential short-term rebound, where we see a short-term rebound or a relief rally back up, perhaps to test back this $200 resistance, and thereafter we will slide back down to 150. However, the market sentiments were to not improve in the upcoming weeks, then we're likely to just head back all the way to 150 levels. As of now, I did not project further than this 153 level, but if we do head back, then we will likely to be looking at this 38.2% at 130, which is still very, very far away, and I'm not too concerned for it as of now. If you look at the monthly chart, there's actually something pretty interesting. You can see that actually if you see this red baseline here, and it's currently about 203.03, it's actually being blocked. So you can see that this monthly candle actually went up. So it was actually being blocked and served as a very, very strong resistance at these 203 levels. So if we are not able to punch back up above these levels, then we're unlikely to turn into very strong resistance in upcoming sessions. So let's take a look at AMD. So a very similar pattern for AMD. You can see that this previous support here at around 90 levels, 90 to 100 levels did not hold very well, and the third time we actually broke down. So currently we are actually rebounding, and this is actually quite a strong rebound. But if you look closely, this previous support here has now turned into resistance. So you can expect more downside ahead. So very similarly to Nvidia, you see this is a wave pattern up, and the second wave pattern, which is a bigger wave pattern, we would likely to be looking at something like this. Furthermore, you can see that this was a lower high here, and then there's a lower high here. And this is a lower low, and this is a lower low. So as of now, it's a downtrend. You can see that on the way up, the cloud acts as a resistance. So even if we do punch back up, the cloud here will act as a very strong resistance for AMD, and the trend will likely to continue to remain bearish in the short term. So let's take a look at some of the potential supports coming in for AMD. Let's take a look at the weekly charts. So you can see on the Fibonacci from a low of perhaps $1 to a high of 164.46. We did found some support, a slight support at about 130 levels, but we broke down and we found stronger support at 61.8% at 102. You can see that it was being tested many times. We did go to about $98, $99, but we did go back up once again. So the next support I'm looking at is 50%, 82.73, which is very close now. In fact, we are being tested this at many occasions, so we are very close, just about $2 to $3 away. But in the event that we do break down further, then we will likely see a bigger wave correction that may potentially send AMD to even lower lows. And we will be looking at somewhere perhaps these levels here, just below this $70 psychological support. If you look closely, actually AMD has a very, very strong support here at around 73 levels. You can see that this was the previous low where we found many critical supports here. So if the support is too strong, it's likely that market makers will actually break this support, knowing that retail investors would likely put their stop losses just below the support. And it happens to coincide with the end of the wave pattern around $68. So this $68 may be a very critical support to hold and to watch, because if the majority of retail investors put their stop losses at around 68 to 69, and if it gets triggered, then there's a chance of us going back up once again. And hopefully we can create this wave pattern where we actually have a higher high and also a higher low. So only when we see this kind of wave pattern, there's a chance for us to reverse for AMD and both Nvidia and AMD. If not, we'll just continue to remain bearish and we'll continue creating lower lows and lower highs. So if there's any changes, I'll give you guys an update. Thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to subscribe as you keep the uptrend channel intact. Till we meet again, appreciate the manipulation.